POV, you just finished an episode of Lost. We're gonna need to watch that again.
That's fun.
That's the one that makes you giggle.
It's fun.
That's the one that gets you. After all the effort that I put into these jokes. That low effort.
That one was funny.
Wow. Okay.
This episode is completely insane.
Episode.
So much so saying not much changes last episode, so much happens this episode.
Yeah.
It's completely wild.
Yeah. And I love it.
And I love it. Every single scene, apart from most of the flashbacks, but every single on-island scene changes everything.
Yeah. It's so... Almost all the dialogue is incredible. So iconic, so well written,
so many scenes from this episode are iconic ones that get repeated in edits and seen in previously ons all the time, and so much of it is iconic moments.
Yeah. And it's also so well chosen, so well constructed. As you say, it completely changes your view of the show at every given turn. But I agree, the flashbacks are not as good, not as exciting.
Flashbacks, who cares?
But the on-island stuff, beautiful.
Although, speaking of flashbacks, I wrote down something Ariel said while we were starting this episode during the previously on, which played the flashback scene in the stadium. And Ariel just very incredibly genuinely said to me, "We didn't talk about his bum bag." Glaring error on our part.
I forgot. It's true.
This is us rectifying that. Desmond's wearing a bum bag.
Desmond's wearing a bum bag in the stadium scene, and this is vital information that we neglected to mention. Glaring error on our part.
I mean, it's right. It is.
What do we think? Red flag or green flag?
He's not wearing it in that, over the shoulder.
No.
That's a green flag. The fact that he owns it tall is a bit of a red flag.
Yes.
It's orange.
He's wearing it on the back, which is an interesting choice. That's a beige flag, if anything.
Yeah, wearing it backwards.
It's you're probably gonna get mugged. Right? Because I think that's the reason, because it's called a bum bag, so presumably you're supposed to wear it on your bum. But I think people started wearing it on the front because they were like, I'm getting mugged frequently.
And it's supposed to be, it's tourists put all their valuables in the front. But I guess because if you're running, he's bent, forwards, running up the stairs. Probably gets in the way on the front, so you wear it back.
I'm imagining him mid stair run, just flipping it round to the back.
What do you think's in there? Electrolytes.
I think the tape, the jar of screws and shit. I think the books, the red and yellow fruit pellets.
Well, probably something like the red and yellow fruit pellets, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's quite common for, the workout, sugar, whatever it is. It's they always eat, fruit pastels and stuff after doing big exercise, because it's your body is hey, I'm dying. And you're like, sugar.
Freaking protein bar is what he's got in there.
Protein bar. One of those water bottles that compresses.
No, he has a water bottle.
He does have a water bottle because he
hands it to Jack and he squeezes it into his mouth, which amuses me as well. We didn't talk about that. Yeah. Glaring error.
Glaring error.
So I'm Ariel.
And I'm Velvet.
Welcome to Lost All Caps, episode 30, people.
Woo!
And it's a milestone because it's an incredible episode.
It's an amazing episode. Orientation is a wild, crazy experience.
How are you all feeling after watching this?
I'm feeling crazy.
I'm feeling great. I remember when we first watched this episode, because at this point, we had a Lost notebook.
Yes, we did.
Which was basically just us writing down theories and stuff, I think.
Yeah, it's a blue spiral notebook we've got that was mine, that just we would just write down whenever we were this was an important detail that's going to be relevant later, we would write it down.
Yeah, I think we were just trying to figure shit out. I think also we were just writing stuff our favourite Saeed lines and stuff. Or was that later? Did that come later?
The second watch through, we were writing down iconic Saeed quotes.
I think this might have been the first time we ever wrote anything down, actually. It might be. I'm not sure.
so.
Can't confirm, because we don't have the notebook on us right now, but I think it was just lying around in the living room when we watched this episode.
Yeah, this thing is, it was a notebook that I'd not used at all, I don't think. It was completely empty, and then we just picked it up, and we had this weird Powerpuff Girls pen that I'd gotten for my birthday that was, like, really top-heavy, so impossible to write with, and that was what we used for, like, all of the notes.
It became tradition. But it was when the orientation tape got played, and we were like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, we need to write all of this down right now, because it is so... Do you know what I mean? Like, we've just given so much lore and context, and it's so exciting, and it's just like, what could it all mean? What could it all mean?
The Dharma Initiative.
Should we talk about the tape? Let's talk about the tape. Let's talk about the tape, people, because we need to unpack it. So, the Dharma Initiative. Orientation film 3 of 6.
The Swan.
The Swans. Station 3 of 6.
Yeah.
The Swan. What already I'm like, oh my god. There are more places like this on the island.
There are 5 more hatches.
5 more hatches? Question mark?
Potentially.
I mean, it's crazy. And okay. The fact that it's 3 of 6 as well. Why is it not one of the numbers? Why is it not 4? Come on. But I think it's fun that it's not 1.
Because it's before the incident.
Oh yeah, true.
Which meant they had to put the numbers into the computer.
So the numbers aren't important yet.
Yeah.
But they will be.
They will be.
So, we get this guy, who is also iconic. Love him. On the tape.
We love this guy. Namaste. In his lab coat. Looking like... He's not creepy. But he's a little bit creepy, isn't he? He's just a little bit sinister. He's very still and very different to anyone that we've met so far. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Like the lab coat and the kind of like, I am here to tell you about this wonderful, utopian living. It's a little bit culty, isn't it? But it's also very sciencey, which is cool. Anyway, so we get the idea. So 1970, founded in 1970.
By 2, PhD students.
PhD, yes. Gerald and Karen de Groot. Wrote their names down. Gerald and Karen de Groot, they were following in the steps of B.F. Skinner.
So we know about Skinner.
Psychology. We both did psychology, GCSE and A-level, as you can tell from this podcast.
We've talked about psychology a lot. But this is it's not the first time that they've actively referenced psychological phenomena.
Hashtag John Locke.
Tabula rasa and John Locke.
Yeah.
So... B.F. Skinner is a bit of a famous one. I mean, everyone knows about, positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement.
Yeah, those are terms that are thrown around a lot.
That everybody knows. Skinner was basically the guy who proved that was a thing.
Yeah.
So he did all these experiments on, pigeons and rats and stuff, where he would be like, if they press the lever, a food pellet is released. And then he learned that they would then press the lever. Or if pressing the lever meant they got electrocuted, then they would not press the lever anymore.
Which seems obvious, right?
Seems obvious.
Someone had to prove it.
It was the 50s, and psychology had just become a thing, and they had to actually prove that all these things existed. Also, everyone knows about Pavlov's dogs.
Yeah.
That was a follow-on from Skinner.
Famously by Mr. Pavlov, not
Pavlov.
Skinner. I don't remember his first name, Pavlov.
I don't know. Probably something like Constantine.
Ooh, that sounds right.
One of them was definitely called Constantine, because Constantine with a K, I remember this.
And no E on the end.
One of them was definitely called Constantine. Not the Pavlova. Oh, his name was Ivan. Who's Constantine then?
You're gonna just Google psychologist called Constantine.
Constantine. Psychology. Yeah, no, that wasn't helpful, unsurprisingly. Ivan Pavlov. Classic, ring the bell before you feed the dogs, and then when they hear the bell, they think that they're getting fed.
Yeah.
That's a classic. Skinner was kind of the basis of Pavlov.
Yes, the interesting thing of bringing up Skinner is because his experiments that we were talking about involved locking a pigeon or a rat in a little box with a button to press, and when they press the button, they'd either get a reward or a negative thing. Very much, paralleling something that's happening right now.
Desmond is Botter Rat.
Desmond is the pigeon. So, Gerald and Karen de Groot were following in Skinner's footsteps. So we get the idea possibly they created the whole hatch as an experiment. much
Could
like
be.
Skinner. It's possible.
Like Jack seems to believe.
Oh, we'll get to that scene. I love that scene so much. So they wanted to create a communal research compound, which, I mean, it sounds kind of cult-like slightly, but also...
More than slightly. Crucially, also, the 1970s was, like, the era of cults. There were, like, all the iconic cults.
All the iconic cults.
Were, like, 60s and 70s.
Yeah, but it's also the era of hippies.
Yeah.
So to me, it feels very hippie-like. It's like,
living community.
Yeah, create a free community where we, like, study and live together and
Study
do
the
science.
nature of life and hold hands on an island. It's. I'd sign up for that.
And then you would find out it's really sinister and all of this stuff, and then there'd be a Netflix documentary 20 years later. It's giving that. It's giving that. But it is still scientific, you know, because they are doing experiments into, like, electromagnetism, for example. That's very scientific.
Yeah.
Some of the things less scientific, so, like, parapsychology, for example. Now, I don't know about you, but that word is immediately associated with ghosts to me. So, that's very interesting in terms of the island.
The island, apparitions, visions, psychic experiences.
Boom, boom, boom. We've seen evidence of all of this on the island, so that's interesting. Maybe they knew, or they found somehow, they found out that there were apparitions happening on the island, and so they were like, let's investigate this. What else did they say? Zoology.
With a picture of some polar bears.
Does this explain how polar bears have gotten on the island?
Maybe they were brought here by the Dharma Initiative.
The Dharma Initiative brought them here. Or did the Dharma Initiative find out polar bears were already living on the island and went, let's investigate this?
Let's study them.
What came first, the chicken or the polar bear? Basically, so they were like these hippie psychologists running around. No one was taking them seriously, apart from a man named Alvar Hanso, it seems, who was some kind of
rich guy.
Dutch rich guy. I think they said he was like a weapons, like an arms dealer or something, which is like, why are you helping hippies then? Surely you two are enemies. Question mark. But anyway, he gave them lots of money to move to the island.
He just seems like classic sort of like funder, you know? Like, oh, that's a fun project. I'll give you 50 million.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's so Netflix documentary coded when you think about it. That shot, I can see, you know that like through the window shot we got of Alvar Hanso in the little film? I can see them having that and then like pausing the film and then doing it in negative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or like being like recreating it, being like this is a dramatic recreation of a different guy standing in a window. So he gave them seemingly the money to build the hatch.
Yes.
We can assume.
And ship their people over to the
experiments.
island, I guess.
But the fact that they found the island and managed to send people there means they've located the island. So it's not an undiscovered island, like we previously thought.
Yeah.
Someone has located the island.
That's a really good point. And also when we think about Desmond saying, is the rest of the world still out there? We were saying, well, but the rest of the world might not still be out there right now. But like, you know, the island has been found by people in the past. So if the rest of the world is still there right now, people might be looking for the island to look for the survivors.
The island could be found again.
Yes. Oh, extremely, extremely, extremely interesting, guys. The Dharma Initiative. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love the Dharma stuff. It's so exciting.
I love the video as well because it's like, but first, let's fill you in.
Let's give you context.
And then now
we find out about the purpose of the hatch.
The hatch.
So it was originally constructed as a laboratory to study the electromagnetism on this part of the island.
Specifically, I wrote down electromagnetic fluctuations.
Boom.
Was his exact phrasing.
So, electromagnetism. We have had in previous... Do you remember there was a scene ages ago in season 1 where Saeed has this compass, right?
Oh yes,
and
the
he's like,
going crazy.
he's like, that should be north, but the compass is saying that's north. So that doesn't make any sense because the only reason that could have happened if there was a huge electromagnetic disturbance.
Hatch.
The hatch.
So is the compass needle being pulled towards the hatch?
I think so. Yes.
Instead of north.
I think that's what he was trying to say. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So we know that there's electromagnetism. We also saw Jack's key go up, and we get the incredible line later on in my favourite scene, which we'll talk about later. My feelings hurt.
That confuses me because there's metal
fillings, yeah.
I never knew what they were made from, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, come on.
This is how I learned what's in fillings.
I don't think they use metal nowadays. But they definitely used to. They might do. I don't have any fillings either, so write in, listeners, if you have fillings.
One, but I don't know what's in it.
You've got one! And they didn't tell you what they put in it?
No, she was just like, we're going to have to numb your mouth and then, like, drill into your tooth, hold your hand up if it hurts.
Amazing.
And then she'd put something in it. Oh, I think it's metal. It's white. To me, it doesn't look like metal.
Does it hurt when you walk down the hatch corridor?
I'd have to check.
Does it hurt? That's...
Did it?
Desmond to Jack, did it hurt when you walked through the electromagnetic corridor?
When you fell down those stairs. Also, another fun thing I noticed in the orientation video, there's like a funky little jingle that plays right at the beginning, right? And if you listen, it sounds like the theme song.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So at the beginning doesn't, and then as it was like fading onto the guy in the lab coat, it went like do 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 do.
Oh, cute.
And I was like, oh my god.
Michael Giacchino.
Michael!
He's coming at it again. So, it was originally constructed as a laboratory to study the electromagnetism, but there was an incident. The incident means that every 108 minutes you have to put in the numbers into the computer. Now, what do you mean by that?
Truly, I have no idea.
Like, first of all, what is the incident? We have no idea. Second of all, how can just typing a code of numbers into a computer stop the incident from happening and save the world?
Literally not a clue. And he's deliberately vague.
He is deliberately vague. He's basically going, this is what you need to know. It's a need-to-know basis, and this is what you need to know.
The numbers.
The numbers. What you have to do every 108 minutes.
Yeah.
And also, crucially, it's at 4
minutes.
Minutes when the timer goes off, when the beeping starts. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Then there's like, I really like as well the way that the film is like jumpy and like imperfect, and like there's voice distortion and stuff, and as you say, like randomly the music will cut in, and it seems like when we talk about Out of Our Hands, so it kind of cuts a bit, so we don't quite hear what he does for a living. And then there's a bit there where he's saying like, you must not use the computer, blah blah blah, and then it goes, thank you.
Yeah.
And it's like exciting.
It's old. It's like a film reel. Yeah. It's not even like, in my memory, it was like a VHS.
No.
But it's not. It's even older than that.
Yeah.
It's like a film reel.
Well, it said at the end, copyright 1980, didn't it? I'm pretty sure it said copyright 1980 at the end of the film.
So if it was found in 1970, now it's been 10 years.
So the incident happened within those 10 years.
At some point.
Mm-hmm. Note these things down, people. At the end, so he says, thank you, namaste, and good luck. I love him. He's so cool.
It's just so
He's
weird.
so cool and
weird.
Like,
I like the sort of namaste and good luck, because it's like a little like, I'm in a lab coat, but like this is still hippie shit, you know? It is still, you know.
Crucially.
I'm going to do a little prayer gesture at you, you know?
And good luck. Yeah. It seems as well the Dharma Initiative is the logo that we've been seeing around.
Yes, so that's on all the food. And on the boiler suit, and it was actually on the wall next to all the mirrors. Every single mirror had a logo printed under it.
Yes, it did. So if you've been spotting it, that's what it is.
What it's the logo of. And it has a little swan in the middle.
Has a little swan in the middle, which is very nice. Okay, so we've gotten that out of the way. That's like the biggest lore drop, I guess, that we get in the episode. And it's also like really interesting because we've been talking about the unreliable narrator, haven't we? And how this show really likes to do that, keeps you guessing. As soon as you get a bit of information, it's like, okay, but can we trust it? But this is a physical film, you know? But still you feel like, can I trust it?
It's still an unreliable narrator because he's still obviously withholding information from you.
Yeah.
That it's like, can we trust him? But I love that when they're like, we should have to take his word for it, and Desmond's like, no you don't. Watch the film.
Watch the film, yeah.
Because obviously this is where he's got it all from. So he doesn't even know what the incident was. He doesn't know what they're doing. All he knows is what's on the film. Well,
that depends what Kelvin told him.
This is a good point.
We don't know anything about Kelvin. All we know is that he and Desmond, we saved the world together for a while. And that was lovely.
And then he died.
Loved that line. Loved that line. That was lovely.
So Desmond, we get a bit more lore about Desmond.
Yes, we do.
So the race across the world that he was training for when he met Jack.
Yeah.
Which we now know that happened 3 years ago.
Yes.
So we were talking about, like, how long ago was it?
Because Jack's wearing the dodgy wig.
Jack's hair.
So we don't know. So he was training and then he...
Set
off and he crashed on the island and he crashed 3 years ago.
Yes.
So it's been in the hatch for 3 years. 3 years!
I mean, that's insane.
He's been in the hatch and we don't know for how long for alone because he just says Kelvin died at some point.
And they pushed the button together for a while. So that could be anything. We don't know how long he's been down there by himself for.
Desmond. But the crazy thing is like, so Desmond says he crashed on the island. Kelvin found him and was like, come quickly, brought him to the hatch, put in the numbers, right? But Desmond didn't do that for any of the crash survivors.
No.
You know, all these people landed on the island. He didn't, like, go and investigate and go, come with me, come and push the button.
They can help me, we can do shifts, I can,
He didn't even know that the plane had crashed on the island, it seemed.
So Kelvin seems to know more than Desmond.
Yes. Or at least...
It's a shame we can't ask him.
Yes.
Knew more than Desmond.
R.I.P. Kelvin. Kelvin. The fact that he's called Kelvin as well. I love.
Like the temperature.
Like the temperature thingy. Science.
Science. The other little tiny Desmond lore we got, though, that I appreciated was when he directs Kate to the front door. Or the back.
Oh my god, yeah, that pissed me off.
It pissed you off. It's exciting.
I know, but it's just like... I don't have to go back up the road. There's got to be a front door around here. Yeah, it's just down that corridor. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Down the hall on the left, and he's be persistent with the wheel, it sticks, right? This means Desmond has gone out.
It does mean Desmond has gone out.
Desmond knows how to open the door, so it's not... So he's been in the hatch for 3 years, but at some point he's opened that door.
Yeah. Maybe, I mean, I feel like... If there's two of you, you can go out for a little wander, can't you? Because if you're just by yourself, you got to get back in an hour and a half, haven't you?
What was it you said? I have to push this button every 108 minutes.
I don't get out much. Serve. Love. Oh. I wrote down he absolutely eats this monologue, which is like the lore drop monologue when he's like, 3 years ago, crashed on the island.
Yeah.
What was all that about? I said, just saving the world, he said. It's just delivered all so well. And that was lovely. That Kelvin died. They've been here all alone ever since. Oh, I just love it. I just love it. I think he's such a good actor.
He's brilliant. He really, really sells it so hard that it's like, even at this point in time, our first time through, I was like, this guy's one of my favourite characters.
Yeah. He's had so little screen time.
I've only had Desmond for a day and a half. If anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Literally, how it feels. Behind Turn of the Screw as well. We get that in this scene. He's stashed the film on the bookshelf behind Turn of the Screw, and I just love that because
they love a literary reference.
Turn of the Screw, you kind of get the impression, he's fixing the computer right now. He's literally turning screws, but also Turn of the Screw is a ghost story.
Yeah.
It's about ghosts. And they're studying parapsychology on the island.
And they've seen ghosts and all of that.
And it's also about kind of like slowly losing your mind as well.
Yeah.
Parallels to Desmond. Can you fix a computer? Well, then you can't help me.
I know, the way John's like, no, but this is my destiny, I'll help you, I'll fix it.
Desmond's like, shut the fuck up, John!
Help me. I love, this is like one of my favourite, like, group dynamic moments of maybe the entire 6 seasons is when Kate just goes, Saeed can fix a computer, I'll go get him. And then Saeed is just like, yeah, man.
Saeed.
The way it's like, first of all, that they just go, Saeed can fix it.
Yeah.
Because Saeed knows everything. And they're right.
Saeed is like our narrative convenience. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's the science guy. He just has all these skills.
He just has the skills.
And have you ever known Saeed to fix something that doesn't work? Boom.
Yeah. Here we go.
Saeed just coming in. I absolutely love him at this point. We talked about the Deus Ex Machina trope.
Yeah.
That's Saeed at this point. Kate's just like, let's just go get Saeed. He shows up at this insane underground hatch. He has 24 minutes or something. I think I wrote it down. Yeah, 24 minutes to fix a 20-year-old computer, and he does it.
He's like on it. And I love that he does that. He says like, what is this place?
Yes.
And then they're like, you need to fix the computer. And he just goes, okay.
Yeah. And even later on, John goes, do you not need to know why? And he's like, I know that it's important, and I know I got to do it before that timer gets down. You'll tell me why later.
He's like, you'll tell me when I'm done.
Yeah.
This is more important.
Which
He's
is a
locked
serve.
in.
And he's locked in, but it's also military training.
It's very much
Do you know what I mean? Like, in the army, you don't get told everything, do you?
Yeah.
They won't just say you've got to go and, I don't know, infiltrate this camp. Question mark. I don't know what they do in the army, but, like, he knows how to follow orders is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. He's just like, yeah, on it. He would have been great in the hatch.
Yeah.
Push the button every 108 minutes? Cool.
This is we'll get to the final scene, won't we? But he's willing to push the button.
Yeah.
Without knowing what it is or what it's going to do.
Because he's just like, well, we need to, so let's just do it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Also the scene, Saeed carrying a massive metal box for no reason across the beach.
Oh, yeah.
And then Hurley is like, oh, let me help you. And he's like, man, things are going to finally going back to normal. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Kate runs up, Saeed!
Once again, that's a for fuck's sake moment from
Yeah.
Hurley.
Yeah.
Also the fact
He's his
that Hurley,
crap, I think, doesn't he?
Hurley comes with them.
He just comes with them. He's like, it's funny, but he needs to come. We know he needs to come because he needs to find out that you have to put the numbers into the computer.
Yeah.
But it is just a little bit funny.
He just follows.
I'll just come along, I guess.
He's like, okay, well, I'm going to come too.
Saeed, we need you. Can I come? Sure.
We just
we don't have time.
probably just followed them. Kate was probably just like, Saeed, come with me, and then turned and just started running again. And then Saeed and Hurley just both followed after. And Kate's like opening the door and she's like, oh, hey, Hurley.
Yeah, probably. Oh, amazing. Okay. We've been jumping around a lot. Where are we? Guys, where are we? So, I want to just quickly backtrack a bit to the start of this plot line. So we get the same scene again. Now, I know you're a bit upset about this.
The thing is I'm less and less upset about it the more that we watch it.
Good! Because you shouldn't be upset because I think it's great.
But the first time we watched this, it felt like we watched that scene a good 5 times. And every single time it happened, I was like, yeah, we know. I was like, we know that Jack recognises Desmond.
And I kill him.
We know all about his, like, dramatic pop-up from John's shoulder.
Yeah.
We know that he shot the vent, like, we don't need to keep seeing it. But upon watching, I think in my memory, we got this sequence 3 separate times where you only saw what happened to John. And then you got the scene again, and then you only saw what happened to Kate, and then you got the scene again. But that's not what happened, so I don't know why I remember it like that.
Yeah. But I understand why you do, because they're very kind of separate trajectories, aren't they?
And I guess this one also is what you then see as Kate's little further adventure.
Further bit, yes. So I want to talk about, in the previously on, I think there's a fantastic bit of editing where they, like, do Kate's built different sequence where she's like escaping and stuff and crawling through the
John putting numbers in.
Yeah. Gorgeous, loved that. That was amazing. And then I really, really like Kate's little extra bit.
Yeah.
Because it feels very video game to me. It was really cool. She's shimmying back through the vents, alien coded. She gets down, she ends up in the armory. What a coincidence! And then she finds the gun. And I really like how she's like she's loading the gun and she's holding it and walking around, and you can hear the conversation carrying on, which we haven't even heard this bit of dialogue afterwards. It's always stopped at the you, hasn't it? So we don't even...
Jack, calm down. Something.
Yeah, put the gun down. I'm not putting anything down. Something like that. We don't really hear it, but the thing is we don't need to, because it's like NPCs talking, you know? And then she's
that
there.
was very unscripted. They were like, just keep it going. I'm not putting anything down. It feels like, to Kate, it's like she got to the vent, she triggered a cutscene.
Yes.
She watched the gun standoff happen. Cutscene ended when she got shot at. She had to dodge. And then it's like...
It was like, press A to dodge,
back.
A to dodge, like in the middle of the cutscene, you know?
And then it's like, now you go back and, oh, I'm in the army. Okay, reload. And she points the gun at Desmond briefly.
You think she's going to just straight up shoot him?
And it's like, she could just kill him. Because, like, he's going to shoot John. You know? But then she doesn't. She knocks him out, which I think is better. Or, like, knocks him over. Just knock him out completely.
No. I just really, really like the way that that's framed. It's very video game coded. I know I always reference Resident Evil, but that's because it's just the video game that I play the most.
But it is.
I got my Resident Evil trousers on today.
They've kind of got their work cut out doing the hatch scenes, because it's like all of what we've done so far has been very open. Like the beach, the jungle, even the caves to an extent. It's very like big open spaces, and so it's like there's a lot of background going on, and there's a lot of room to move around and do different angles and all the spinning and all that stuff. But then it's like suddenly in very small spaces, the vent but also most of the hatch, and it's like it's all shrunk right down, and so they have to really work to frame it in a way that still like fits with the rest of the show, and I think they do a really good job of it.
They do a really good job. It's almost like they're really excited by having this new way of framing stuff, and I really like that. And also we were talking about like, we were watching it today and going, what is the layout of the hatch? Yeah. Like, it is kind of confusing. Like, I low-key need to press start and see the map, the hatch map, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
It's all just clouds.
Yeah.
You haven't unlocked this yet.
But yeah, so I really like that. But it's Kate knocking out Desmond, which causes him to misfire the gun, which then shoots the computer, right? Which means then he has to fix it. But Jack's just refusing to let him stand up, just has him like, what was
stay down,
his
bitch.
Like arm held, what would you even call that? I don't know.
Yeah, he's just sort of got him pinned on the floor.
Yeah. And then we get the, do I know you? Imagine being Desmond, and we were saying like, imagine being Jack, you know, you've crashed on this island, you've found the hatch, you've blown it open, you go down, and there's a guy that you flirted with 4 years ago in there. 4? It might be 4 years ago. I don't know how long it takes to train to do a race across the world.
Yeah,
guys.
we don't know how long it was between that and him setting off, I guess. 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. 3 or 4 years ago. Also, I just suddenly realised what an insane 4 years Jack has had.
Yeah.
He's gotten married, he's fixed up Sarah completely, started dating her, married her, divorced her, shaved all his hair off.
Shaved his head, got his dad fired
from
his job. Dad goes
died.
to Australia, dies of alcoholism. Plane crash.
Wow.
What? A 3
The
years?
millennium's not been good for Jack.
I know, this is the turn of the century.
Literally. Turn of the screw. Anyway, so it's crazy from Jack's perspective, but it's also crazy from Desmond's perspective. Do you know what I mean? This is the first time in however, God knows how long, he's met other human beings. He knows that there are other human beings still alive, that the world is still out there, that everyone's not sick and zombie-like and all of this stuff. And one of them is a guy that he flirted with in a football stadium 4 years ago!
I mean, that's crazy also, because it's like, meeting a stranger,
yeah,
sure, that's like, okay, so the world is still out there, there's still people, but meeting someone he knows is like, his life still happened, you know? It's like, he still has a life almost waiting for him to get back to,
love
you know?
that. Yeah.
It's like, that was a conversation he had right before he got to the island, and he's like, and that guy is still out there, you know?
Yeah.
Everything that was in his life is still out there.
It's carried on, yeah. Oh, wow, yeah. Crazy conceptually. Really clever, really cool.
And the moment where he says, like, running, and Desmond clearly just goes, oh my God.
We can't talk about that scene just yet.
We'll get there.
So, guys, we're so excited. He gets up to go and look at the computer. He says, bastard, which I enjoyed. You know, we've got a Scotsman in the show. He's got to be allowed to swear. That's not... Yeah. Come on. They need to break the rules for him. And then, so there's a shot... of John, and he's looking at Jack, and then you see Jack, and he's like kind of going like, what are you looking at? Vibes. And I always just thought it's John going, I heard that Desmond knows who you are. What's all that about?
What's going on?
But what I think, and I never noticed this before, what I think he is also actually looking at is behind Jack in that shot, you can see on the wall loads of
scratch
tallies
scratched into the wall.
Oh.
And it's a classic, like, oh no, nothing. And it's like they're all behind him because he doesn't want to freak him out. Also, in a sense, do you think, this has just occurred to me now, when you were saying he's looking at and going, I heard that, Desmond says he knows you. Do you think John's like, maybe this is Jack's destiny?
Ooh,
not
possibly.
Mine? Because it's like, if Jack knows the guy in the hatch, he's more important to this situation. You know, do you think John's being like, oh my God, I've read all of this wrong. Possibly. It's about Jack getting down here.
That could explain his insane behaviour at the end of the episode. I love that scene for a very different reason, but we'll also get there. But the tallies, I can't believe I never noticed them before. And it's like,
No,
wow.
I don't remember them at all.
So Desmond was keeping track of the days that he spent down there, I guess. But then
maybe
it's
that's
like,
why he has that recognition when John says 44 days ago.
yeah, maybe. But it's like, how does he even know what a day is?
Kate puts her gun down, she either puts it down or gives it to John. John ends up holding it when she leaves, and John puts it down on the table. And I noticed that because he's obviously being like, we don't need to threaten Desmond, just let him do his thing. But Jack is still holding his gun. Jack is still I don't think he was really pointing it at anything.
No.
But he's still very much like poised,
Yeah.
you know?
Because then later on, he grabs the jar of, like, what even is that? Like a jar of spare parts or something?
Yeah, I guess, like, computer bits.
He grabs the jar and holds it away from Desmond and points the gun at him and goes, you're going to tell me what you're doing here.
Yeah.
And I loved that. Like, I feel like Jack kind of has mum energy sometimes.
Yeah, he's in it's sort of like a teacher.
Yeah. It's like, you'll get it back when you tell me what happened.
Yeah. Tell me what's going on. And then he's like, okay, now you can have it back.
Yeah.
Be nice. It's almost like Desmond's going to go to take it. He's going to be like, don't snatch.
Say sorry. Sorry. Say it properly. I'm sorry, John.
Say sorry, John.
So, you got to say sorry too.
Sit on the naughty step. I mean, Jack is desperate to put John on the naughty step, I think. My favourite thing about Jack's behaviour this episode is that often I think he is just like, he's kind of arguing with John just for the sake of it for a lot of this episode, I think. There's a lot of kind of like, you know, like when they finish watching the video and he's like, you're really going to watch that again? Oh, you're not? And he's like, no. And I'm like, I think he probably does.
I love that interaction.
Like, I think he probably wants to watch it again, but he's like, shut up, John.
Yes.
Don't like you.
But also Jack just goes, okay, this is irrelevant, and just dismisses the film immediately, whereas John's like, we need to watch that again. I mean, we as a viewer are going, we need to watch that again, we need to find out what the Dharma Initiative are, but he's taking it in a lot more than Jack, I think, is what that conversation's trying to communicate, but it does just seem petty.
Like, I do think there's a level of Jack.
There's a level of
like,
pettiness.
I just don't want to agree with John on anything right now.
Yeah. Which, understandable, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't. If I was in his situation, I wouldn't. This your destiny, John? All roads lead here. And now it's like, all roads do lead here, though, because you met the guy, like, 3.5 years ago.
And it's actually interesting in this iteration of that scene, we get John's first flashback. So we were talking about how sometimes the show makes us think these are what the characters are thinking about in this moment. And I feel like that is very true here.
Very much, yeah. This is your destiny. Everything that's happened to you leads you here. And then he's thinking about his dad.
Yeah. And so the first flashback we get, should we talk about the flashbacks now?
Okay.
The first flashback we get is him in, like, grief counselling.
Yeah, I've written parental stealing counselling ?
A very specific counselling group.
Parents stole stuff from me.
Yeah.
Brackets money or kidney.
All are welcome.
I think the thing is,
this scene.
I think John's reaction, it is valid given his situation. I do think the fact that he gets so pissed off and he's like, you know, my situation is worse than yours.
Yeah.
Because, like, it is, you know? But I do think it's very much giving, like, you know, repressed old man when he's like, well, she just feels too much. You know? I think he's being like, oh, women are so sensitive. I got my kidney stolen and I'm doing fine.
Yes, it's not necessarily...
A little bit.
It's a little bit like that. It's definitely he's not processing his emotions well.
For sure.
Completely. It's definitely insensitive. But also, the point of this scene is to alert us as viewers as to how deeply what's happened with Anthony affected him.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course it did, but now we know
like we see
he's not been able to forget about it for however long it's been. I mean, he's also wearing a terrible flashback wig.
Didn't he say a couple of years ago my birth mother got in touch with me?
Maybe.
I think he said a couple of years ago.
Okay, so let's assume it's been at least a year.
Yeah.
A couple years. He still hasn't been able to let go.
Yeah, I'd say probably like at least a year since the kidney got stolen. Because you got to give the time for like them to bond and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If the birth mother got in touch like 2 years ago, then.
Yeah, I don't think they were friends for that long, to be honest.
But we don't know
We
how
don't
long.
know. Although, Leela's pretty iconic, isn't she? When she goes, I like bald guys. I'm not bald. I can wait.
Yes,
Funny.
so this is our new character.
Helen. Helen, who is the voice of Leela in Futurama.
Yeah, we do exclusively call her Leela, really.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, she's Leela in Futurama, but the great thing is she's one of those voice actors who has the most distinct voice you've ever heard. Very much sort of Kristen Schaal, Matt Berry, this lady.
Absolutely.
So whenever we see her in anything else, it's immediately like, oh, that's Leela.
Yeah.
She also plays Jake's mom in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, she does.
Crossover episode, Rose plays Holt's mom in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Ah, how lovely.
What a crazy crossover.
And Jake has the kind of daddy issues that we would see on this show.
Yeah.
And his dad's a pilot.
And his dad's a
Crossover?
pilot. Lost, Brooklyn Nine-Nine crossover, when?
Come on, people. Oh, sorry. So the thing about Helen is I like her as a character in terms of everything that she does on screen. I like, you know, I think she's a good actor. You know, it's fun that Leela's in it, you know, and I think, you know, these scenes are actually quite well written in terms of like, we see how John is kind of like almost screwing up his relationship and his chance at being happy because he's so obsessed with Anthony Cooper. But also we get that Helen is like kind of, you know, she's also been through a lot. She was at this support group and she like throws his car keys over the fence and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like she's not the perfect, well-adjusted person either. And I like that, you know? It's like we can help each other. Yeah. And that's really nice. However, I don't like that they have introduced a partner for John, especially a partner called Helen.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it really cheapens the impact of Walkabout. I think the scene in Walkabout where he's on the phone to Helen and he's like, I've bought you a ticket to go on the Walkabout with me. And she goes, I'm not allowed to like meet customers. And you find out that he's just been ringing this like chat line for however long and speaking to this woman named Helen. That is so brutal emotionally, and it's so like you're depressing, and it's like John has never really had that genuine connection. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
John, like Helen is just at her job right now, you know. This is work for her. It's not like a relationship, even though John is clearly emotionally invested in her. And so I think to imply, like that episode does, that that's the closest John has ever come to having romance in his life, is really great and
really heartbreaking. But then it's suddenly like, but that's
not true. We have a woman here who's also named Helen, who he had like a serious relationship with for 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the name is you can kind of explain that away a little bit. I do personally think it's a plot hole that they have the same name. I think that's like a genuine mistake. But you can explain it away a little bit because I know that on the like chat lines, the people who are on the phone never use their real name, and they never like give out real details about their lives because people like John will try and meet up with them in person. They're not allowed to. So it's like, I think there's a universe in which she's said, you can give me a name. What do you want to call me? And he's said Helen.
Which in itself is very heartbreaking and depressing.
It's a bit sad and a little bit creepy.
Yes.
So I think that like that could be an explanation
for
why they have the same name.
It could, but it just...
Or alternatively, she was like, hi, my name's Helen. He was like, it's fate.
That's also possible. Although he doesn't seem to be massively on the fate train until he gets on the island, I would say.
No, but he does say, well, the walkabout is his destiny. He does say that when he's in the hut with the Australian guy.
True, but it's like the, you know... at least at this point in his life, the flashbacks that we get in this episode, he doesn't believe in that kind of stuff because he's like, I was manipulated because my mum told me that I was special and I wasn't. I was just being conned. So yeah, definitely at this point, he's not our man of faith, is he?
No.
Which is why then Helen at the end goes, you have to take a leap of faith.
That's why it's called a leap of faith, John.
Obviously,
and I
very
say,
important.
do not, of all the men to say that to, do not say it to John Locke.
Bless Helen. She really is putting in the work, isn't she?
She said I can fix him.
She said I can fix him.
She didn't, but she did some fixing.
Well, we don't know what happens after this, do we? He does go over to Helen and take her hand, so it seems like we're supposed to think he chose her over Anthony.
His dad.
But the fact that it was a difficult decision for John is like... Obviously choose Helen.
Yeah.
She actually cares about you, unlike your evil, evil father who's evil.
Yeah.
He came onto the screen again today and I was like, no, don't do that to me. Get away. Get him away.
Yeah, I don't like that he was there. I did write Anthony, fuck you.
Yeah. And also his reaction being like, there is no why.
So there is a why. The why is I wanted a kidney. And I don't respect you as a human being.
Yeah.
It's not like he's acting like it's some kind of coincidence.
I mean,
acts like it's like some people get ill, John. No, it's like I actively manipulated you and paid off your birth mother.
I mean, he admits to that, doesn't he? He's like, you needed a father, I needed a kidney.
Yeah, no, he admits to doing it, but the way he's like, there is no why. You're not the first person to ever get conned, is like he couldn't control the fact that it happened.
I guess
like,
a little bit.
He could have just not done it.
Yeah.
So there was a reason.
There was a reason.
Why.
But I think what he's trying to get at is John's going like, why did this happen to me? And he's like, there's not some big
You're not uniquely
reason.
Suffering.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what he's getting.
That's what he's getting at. But I thought
Although
it was
it's
weirdly
a pretty
phrased.
Situation.
Yeah.
Like there is no unique suffering, there is no unique sadness, but also
How many other
has
people?
anyone else been in that situation specifically? The only other thing I have written down about the flashbacks is are keys really that cheap?
Yeah. $1 is $1, right?
Yeah.
So she says it only cost me $1, so
says
$1 for a key.
$1 for a key. I've never bought a key. So I don't know, but I would imagine it's more than a dollar. Because $1 is like 90p, right?
Yeah, but we also don't know when this was happening. This was probably like 1995, you know.
To be fair, that's probably modern equivalent of like £8.60 in it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
£8.60. The dollar. Don't worry, it only cost me £8.15.
Only cost me £2.30 and 4.2 pence.
What? Helen, are you having a stroke?
Where are you looking? What are you looking at? She's looking down the camera. So I guess, yeah, it's a good point. I mean, John still has hair, so obviously this was happening quite a while ago.
Obviously.
I can wait.
But yeah, we talk about how none of the characters have any riz in this show. I feel like Helen's got riz.
Helen's got riz.
But I kind of am a bit like, this is a John episode. Do you know what I mean?
I think there's so much happening, it's a bit hard to pin down the plot line of the episode. It's similarly to last episode, really. We were like, the flashbacks haven't really taught us anything new about the person.
Yeah, last week it's kind of like, this is a Michael episode. Do you know what I mean? Like, I completely forgot that Michael even had more than one flashback episode. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think there's just so much happening in this episode, it's really hard to pin down. But it's like, it's John is the one having the crisis of faith. John is the one being like, well, now I've reached my next point, my destiny.
What happens next?
What do I do now?
Yeah.
And I like
Which is fair.
the bit where he was left alone in the hatch.
Yeah.
Jack had run off after Desmond, Kate was getting Saeed, and he was left alone. He kind of picked up that like toolbox and he just kind of went like, what am I, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do? He said something like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, he's kind of like, he thought he would get down there and suddenly it would all make sense. And it doesn't. It makes no sense at all. And I think it's very well done, I do think this. And I do feel bad for John.
Yeah, you do.
You know?
You absolutely do. But also, again, he's making it all about him.
He is making it
when
all about
really
him.
it's about Jack and about Desmond.
And
about Sawyer bloody breaking out of a hole in the ground with a hole in his arm.
Yeah. I did also write down John is fascinated by Saeed's nonchalance.
Ooh, okay, what a sentence.
Because I was just like, that when he's like, don't you want to know what it is? And so he's like, no. And John's just like,
it could never be me.
John's like flabbergasted. He's like, how are you so chill right now?
Yeah, so true.
The thing is, right, if John was to talk to Hurley about all of this, it would all be solved, like, so quick.
Yeah.
Like, if John had teamed up with Hurley instead of Boone...
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
That would have been really interesting, actually. I would have loved to watch that.
That would have been really great, because Hurley would have been like, yeah, man, magic.
Yeah, but he would have been like, we can't keep it going. Do you know what I mean? As soon as he saw the numbers, he would have freaked the hell out.
But it's like, he would have told John would have believed him.
John would have believed him.
John would have then told Hurley what happened to him, his legs, and Hurley would believe him.
Yeah.
And then it would be like, so where do we go from here? Because if I hate the numbers and you love the numbers, then who's flying the plane? You know?
And that's how the crash happened. That was amazing.
And so I think if only. Something I also noticed, when Desmond, like, he does something to the computer. What is it? Said says he replaced the motherboard.
Yeah. Techno babble, no one cares.
He replaced the motherboard. And then he, like, flicked the switch and all the power went out, right? And so that's what Kate and Hurley are doing. They're trying to, like, find the fuse box, I guess.
Look, no one really knows what's happening on the technical side. Saeed's like, oh yeah, this is a simple fix. Let me just replace the transistor. And it's like, girl, what?
So he says, like, find the tubes, find the whatever. And Hurley's like, yeah, great. What is that?
It's like, what do you mean it's a simple fix? This is, like, technology that was made before you were born, bro. Like, what?
Yeah. But what I liked is that even when the power went out, the timer was still counting down.
Yes, that's very interesting.
So it's like that is not on its own, it's on its own, like, battery, I guess.
Yeah, and it kind of is like, first of all, the lingering threat is still there, and it's like, there's no, like, way to stop. The button needs to be pressed.
Even if you turn off all the power to the entire hatch, the button will still need to be pressed.
The world is still going to end when the timer runs out.
Supposedly.
In this weird way, we don't know how. And I feel like, okay, so this feels like a good opportunity to flag something that does annoy me, and I feel like this is going to be a controversial opinion.
Okay, go on.
I actually get a little bit annoyed, just a little bit, every time they call it a button.
You know what? Yeah.
I can't believe you agree.
Because it's not a button, it's a computer.
Yes! It's a keyboard with multiple buttons. It's not a button. It's not like they are pressing the big red button in the middle of the desk.
Also, we've not actually discussed this at all, but we, like, had some very vague things we knew about Lost before we went in, right? So, because our parents have been trying to get us to watch it for, like, a good couple of years.
Well, not quite. They told us we weren't ready.
Yeah.
They were like, you're gonna love this show, but you're not ready yet.
Yeah.
When we were younger.
Like, they first brought it up when I was, like, 13. Definitely wasn't prepared. But it's like, so they would tell us these things. They'd be like, but it's so cool because there's this Korean couple who don't speak English and then they have to be on the plane crash. Whatever. There's this whatever, XYZ. A couple of the things haven't come up yet, so I won't say them. But one thing they told us, they tried to explain the concept of the hatch, and I kept being like, the button guy's down there. It was like, there's a guy underground who has to press his button every 108 minutes so he can't leave. And we knew that. And so, like, when they first found the hatch in All the Best Cowboys, I was like, button guy's down there.
Ah, okay, interesting. So yes, I agree. This was also something that I remembered from Mum and Dad telling us before we started watching the show. The way that I remember them phrasing it is by saying, at one point they randomly find a guy living underground and you don't know how long he's been down there.
Yeah.
And he's doing this, he's entering this code or something. They did say he was doing something and it was like, he has to
They
do
said
it
it was
on
every,
fake,
like, hour or something.
Yeah.
I remember they specifically didn't say 108 minutes, probably because they didn't remember that it was 108
Of course
minutes.
they didn't remember. Because they wouldn't know the
every couple of
significance.
hours.
But, like, it was like a kind of, you don't know how long he's been down there and he doesn't even know why he's doing it himself. And I remember thinking, wow, that's a really interesting idea. But the way that I was picturing it, right?
Not what it is.
No. I had pictured kind of the shaft that they reveal when they blow open the hatch. But I had basically pictured a ladder going down into a really tiny circular room.
Very small room.
With a man sitting on the chair with, like, a cup of coffee or something, and just kind of looking up at them and going like, well, this is me, this is what I do, with, like, a screen in front of him. I definitely imagined multiple screens and multiple, like, things in front of him.
See, I wasn't imagining any screens.
And then here's the key of what I imagined, that the survivors, basically, like the main characters, found him and they were like, whoa, this is crazy. And then they just left and that was it.
This is the thing.
That was
Crucially,
one episode
I was
of the
also
show.
like, then they just left him there. They left him to it.
Left him to it.
Which is not what happens
No.
at all. But I was picturing, like, sort of similar, like, just kind of one room, very sort of, like, dirt walls, like, just, like, underground.
Okay.
With fully, what I was picturing was just, like, a button. Just, like, a big red button or something that you just press. You know, like, in Dumb Ways to Die, when
Don't
there's
press
the
the
button,
button, yeah.
and the thing is just don't press it.
Or that meme with the, like, guy sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just picturing a button. So
Yeah.
when they said the button, I'm like, it's not a button, it's a computer.
Yes! Oh my god. I'm so glad you agree, because we've never discussed this,
No.
and I'm like, I shouldn't get annoyed about it, but I get unreasonably annoyed about it. And this is the first episode where they really call it a button. And even the guy on the video calls it a button, and I'm like, it's not a button, though.
It's a key, if anything.
It's a keyboard. It's a computer.
And it's not just pushing one button.
No.
It's like put in the code and press execute.
Yeah. So I don't like it when they call it pushing the button.
I do, however, like it because there is one. I truly don't think I'll be able to find it again because I definitely didn't save it, but there was an edit on TikTok of Desmond in the hatch to push the button.
I mean, yes, that needs to happen. That is
song.
crucial. That is vital.
Which is hilarious.
Yes.
And really, really brilliant. And so I appreciated it for that.
Yeah.
And I was at work the other day, and sometimes when you're in the kitchen, depending on what chef is on, sometimes the person the guy in the kitchen will like have like a Spotify playlist on or something, or a radio. And I was washing dishes while Push the Button was playing, and I was just thinking about Desmond the whole time.
Washing the dishes.
Washing dishes.
So Desmond coded.
So I was like, oh my god, I'm
Push
just like
the button, let me know.
And I was like, just like Desmond.
Do you think Desmond's a Pussycat Dolls fan?
Yes.
Is that the Pussycat Dolls?
I think so.
I said that very confidently, and then
I
immediately
was trying to
questioned it.
remember who it was.
It's either the Pussycat Dolls or Atomic Kitten or something like that.
I feel like Atomic Kitten. Sugar Babes.
Sugar
It's the
Babes! Well, those three bands all kind of the same, right?
I mean, it was released in 2005. So,
They wrote it about Lost!
Okay, when in 2005?
We've just blown this
Was it
wide
released
open.
before or after the season? I need to know. For their fourth studio album, Taller in More Ways.
What?
Released on 10th of October 2005! This episode came out the 5th of October 2005!
Oh my god!
Do you think the song came out? Do you think like the album came out and the song came out and then they were kind of like, fuck?
Well, I don't know
They were like,
how
we just
aware
tried to
they
turn
were of
push the
Lost.
button. This thing. They obviously wrote the script without awareness of the song.
I bet there were at least a few people living in America who, because they're also a British band, aren't they, Sugar Babes?
They're very crucially Britpop.
So I imagine the like release, maybe they were more popular in the UK, maybe this episode wasn't released in the UK yet, we don't know, we said this the previous week or whatever. But I imagine there was at least one guy who watched the episode and then like a week later heard the song on the radio and was like, wait.
Yeah, it says here, it topped the UK albums chart, becoming the group's first domestic number one. Also reached top 10 in Ireland, Switzerland, the Netherlands, and Austria.
There was one Austrian guy who was a huge fan of Lost and was like, stream Push the Button by the Sugar Babes.
Was Alvar Hanso.
It was Alvar Hanso! We've blown this shit wide open.
And listen to this. In April 2025, the album was released on vinyl for the first time as part of the 2025 Record Store Day. We should buy it and get it delivered to the hatch. So they can listen to it.
Yeah, on vinyl.
Desmond's still down there. 20 years on.
Yeah.
But this time he has a fun song to do it to.
Yeah. Imagine him doing his make your own kind of music, but it's push the button and let me know. He'd be losing his mind. I imagine him like rocking in the corner when that's playing. Push the button.
I mean, in terms of timeline, the song's not out yet, right? Because it's still like November 2004.
I think it's time.
So, not the last scene that's part of this plot line, but before we can discuss the last scene, we need to discuss maybe my favourite scene ever. No, that's not true. It's the opening of season 2.
We need to discuss one scene before that, I'm so sorry.
don't do this to me.
I know, but there's also an incredible scene, which I really, really love. It's definitely a scene that's so important to Ariel, as is the next one, so don't worry. But this scene where Jack is interrogating Desmond about the computer.
Okay, yeah. We've not done that one.
I'm literally obsessed with this scene. I love it so, so much. They both are acting their asses off. They are acting so well, and it's like, it gives me chills. It gives me chills when they, oh my god. So, okay, obviously it's iconic and everything. I kind of didn't write down a lot of the dialogue because I was too invested in the scene, but all of the dialogue's amazing. He says, like, you know, are you in contact with the people who made the video? Do you think I'd be here if I was? Hilarious. I don't get out much, all of that stuff. And then he's like, it's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen when you don't push the button. This is Jack. Jack is like, nothing's going to happen when you don't push the button. There's quarantine on the door, and they've put that in there to keep you in here and keep you scared. Oh my god. Jack is just spitting this narrative, and you're like, fuck, what if this is true? And he's like, we've all been out there for 40 odd days and nobody's gotten sick.
And crucially, you know, we were saying this last week, it's like, no one's gotten sick.
No one's gotten
People
sick.
have died, but no one has gotten this sickness.
Yeah. Or have they? But Jack doesn't really know about Danielle, so question mark. But anyway, so none of the camp survivors have gotten sick, really. So, apart from the rash guy. So, Jack's like, no one's gotten sick, so that's a lie.
It's fine.
Do you not think that everything else here could be a lie? And when I say I am fundamentally changed after this sequence was delivered, when he said, do you think they just put you down here as like a mind game? Do you think they just put you down here telling you to press a button every 108 minutes just to see if you would? And Desmond goes, every single day. Chills. Oh my god. It changed my life forever.
Of course he did. Of course it's crossed his mind. Of course he doesn't believe it, but it's like, you have to, because what if?
Right? It's just so brilliant and interesting. And also, Jack thought he was going to blow Desmond's mind with that reveal. He's like, Desmond was going to go, oh wow, I never thought of that. No, of course he fucking did. He's been trapped down here in his own mind for 3 years.
Yeah.
Just with no one else to talk to, no idea of knowing if anything's real, if the world is real, or anything like that.
He said Jack mentioned the replacements, and Desmond goes, Kelvin died waiting for our replacements.
Yeah. No replacements ever came.
What if Kelvin is like 95 years old? You know? You don't know. We don't know what happened. What if Kelvin was really fucking ancient and he's been down here for years?
Yeah.
And he died and now Desmond has to do it. We don't know.
Oh my god. Because Desmond clearly wasn't the official replacement, was he?
No.
He just accidentally crashed on the island and Kelvin was like, you, come here, please.
I'm so lonely.
Yeah, oh my god, every single day. It's just one of the most brilliant moments in the whole show. I love his delivery of that line, and you really get, it's so powerful and juicy, and it's like you get the impression of what it's been like for him in this place this whole time. And I love it so much. And then he seems to think he's fixed the computer. He does the sign of the cross over himself.
Another Catholic?
Another Catholic, question mark.
I wonder what he thinks about the Virgin Mary statues full of heroin.
Yeah, he needs to queen out with Charlie. But then it doesn't work, right? It blows the fuse, as we've said. And he's
goes,
like,
okay,
it's
well,
over.
It's over.
There's no way I can fix it in time. It's over. He starts grabbing shit and he's just like, John's like, say it's coming. And he's like, give him my best. Desmond actually is so sassy and I do really appreciate it.
Because John is obviously like, you're supposed to tell me what to do, but Desmond's like, what you do is run away.
I don't know what to do.
He grabs a bunch of food, but he also goes into that cupboard with all the syringes and grabs loads of those bottles of medicine.
He still thinks, even though Jack has gone, it just says quarantine on that door to freak you out, to scare you. There is no illness, no one's gotten sick.
He's like, if I leave... But also it's like, if he thinks the whole world's going to end in like 20 minutes, but he's like still like, what, in case it doesn't? And he says to Jack in the next scene, which we will discuss at length, but he says to him, you know, in 50 minutes you're either going to be very right or very wrong. He's like, it might not be real. And imagine that sense of freedom that he's getting of at least he's finally going to know. Like,
He's finally going to know.
I bet a part of him is relieved that it didn't work, because he's like, at least he's finally going to know if it's real or not.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, in 15 minutes, either I'm going to die and everyone else in the world is going to die, or I'm going to finally be free from the button.
And so either way, it's, you know, it's a freedom, in a sense. Either way, he never has to push the button.
Yeah, it's kind of a win-win-ish. Not really. Not really. He's kind of in a lose-lose scenario at all times, Desmond.
Yeah, I fear the last 3 years have been a lose-lose scenario for him.
Yeah.
Ever since he fumbled Jack.
And yet he gets his chance to redeem.
He does.
And does
So let's talk about this scene. So Jack runs off after Desmond because he's like, you can't just leave. He's like, you're giving the button what it wants. I don't really understand Jack's motivation to run after Desmond other than just like, he can't just leave. I think he's like, there's no point in running because it's not real, so what are you running? Or why are you running? You don't even know what you're running from.
Yes.
But also, I think a part of him is like, I know you. He's like, I can't just let this guy run away.
Yeah.
This is someone who he knows. I think
Jack is not thinking straight, crucially. I think he's really freaking out, and he's got a lot of manic energy, and so he just runs after Desmond because he's just like, I'm just going after him. Also, he says, because John's like, stay with me, and I don't want to be alone in here, which crucial, given Desmond and given his flashbacks as well. And he's just like, I'm leaving, John, because this isn't real. Goodbye.
That's quite an intense moment of vulnerability from John, actually.
Yeah.
He's like, don't leave me alone in here. And you're suddenly like, oh, he's scared too. He's really freaking out too.
Of course he is, yeah. Even though he doesn't really allow that to be seen very often.
And so
this scene, in my notes, I've simply written, in all caps, of course, the full stop, gayest full stop scene full stop ever.
It's really something.
It's so gay and so homosexual.
First things first, Desmond falls face first down that hill and just gets up again. And I love that because it's a classic moment of Lost not being afraid to do undignified things to its characters. It's like in the pilot when when Jack falls on top of Claire and it's not sexy. It's like, you're gonna die. It's like Desmond is not falling in a remotely dignified manner.
No. And there are parallels to this, of course. Jack falling down the hill.
Yes.
Very dramatically. In episode 5 of season 1. And also when he's attacked by Ethan in All the Best Cowboys. He falls down that big thing.
He also trips over when she's carrying all the alcohol when Boone gets in the accident in Do No Harm.
And of course, parallels to Jack tripping on the stairs in the stadium and spraining his ankle.
And that's how Jack catches up with him, much like
Desmond catching up with Jack, yes.
This scene is so special to me in every way. It's like 2 of my faves.
So very important in so many ways.
I remember you.
Every line of dialogue in this scene as well is so iconic.
It's Jack, why are you running? You don't even know what you're running from. Classic line. Then
that's when he looks up.
Desmond, moment of recognition when he says running.
Yeah, running.
I remember you. Running. We were in a stadium, and Jack's like, no, don't say it. Because I feel like it's like if Desmond recognises Jack has to acknowledge it's real.
Yes,
He has to acknowledge that, maybe all roads have led here.
Yeah.
Maybe John's right. Maybe we were all meant to see each other. Maybe we were meant to see each other in another life.
Yeah.
Because it's like, as long as Desmond doesn't remember him, he can pretend it didn't happen. You know?
Or he's mistaken, it's not really him.
Because earlier as well, are you upset because he said he remembered you? And he's like, no.
He didn't. And as well, that Locke calls him Desmond, and then you get a shot of Jack going a bit nearer the camera and kind of whispering to himself, Desmond. He's like, it is him. No, it can't be him. And he's struggling with this, and it's amazing. And I also really like as well the bit at the beginning of the scene where Desmond's like, oh, this is the reason you've come after me, right? If it does finally if you do somehow manage to fix it, the code is 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. Again, 4, 8, 15, 16. Shut up! Oh, what a beautiful interaction.
Yeah, because it's the way Desmond's like, oh yeah, the code,
You're gonna need it.
You need it.
Because, he's still, as you say, he's still like, they might still have to push the button, even though he doesn't have to. And it's like, they need the numbers. They need the numbers. He needs to know the numbers. Oh my God! This scene has everything. It has the numbers. It has blatant homosexuality.
So let's talk about the blatant homosexuality. So,
please.
Okay, so I remember you, obviously. Desmond is advancing towards Jack while this is happening. He's like, it's fate.
Despite the fact that Jack has a gun on him.
But he's like, this is amazing. We knew each other before. And it's the way he goes, what happened to her? Because it's like, for Desmond, obviously, this is quite not recent. But I'm sure it feels much more recent to Desmond than it does to Jack, because after that, his life has been in that hatch. So he's like, this is the last real life thing that happened to him. And he's like, what happened to her? Was she okay? Did you fix her?
Yeah. it might as well be the last kind of positive interaction Desmond has had.
Yeah.
Because we don't know, the only things we know about his life are he had this really cute interaction with Jack in the stadium where he was really happy and he was like, what if you did fix her, you know? Next thing we know is he crashes on the island in his race around the world. Then he's in the hatch for 3 years. So this is like maybe one of his last kind of positive memories. And so he's obviously really super invested in this. But Jack just keeps going, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. And of course also, he's acting his arse off, of course.
You know, we were saying, oh, that interaction probably didn't mean anything to Desmond because it's not like an important moment in his life. But it's like, it probably didn't mean anything at the time. But since then, he's probably thought about it, you know?
Yeah. It turns out it does mean a lot to Desmond. It's super important to Desmond and he remembers it and oh my god!
Like, what happened to her? I married her. And this is like Jack, I know Desmond is like incredible, but also this is just such an amazing Jack scene.
It is. It totally is. His
face is so brilliant.
Yeah.
Matthew Fox is so great at like crying in scene. He does it a lot. And
I'm nodding vigorously.
First of all, generally, I really like that Jack cries a lot. And I think I've mentioned it before. But it's like I like that for our main character who's very like, you know, he's a man and he's got this horrible dad who's obviously made him very emotionally repressed, but he still cries a lot.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I like that especially in this moment where it's obviously a very intense, he's very upset, he's very freaked out, and he just starts crying.
Yeah. He's got this great kind of like, I've said before how he looks away from the camera a lot, like but it's really good in this scene, and it's kind of like
he can't even look
he
at
can't comprehend it, and he's like, it doesn't
matter.
matter. And then he goes, I married her. He screams, I married her, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Because this is awful for Jack as well, because he's like, I fixed her, and that was the whole reason he married her, was because he like, we've said like, it seems like he felt like he was obligated to, because he fixed her. And then they've obviously had this divorce, and it presumably didn't go well.
No kidding.
And so he's like upset about that, and he's like, he wishes the whole thing had never happened, and like, this is upsetting for him as well, and he's just like, yeah, I fixed her, and I married her. And then Desmond steps slowly furthermore towards Jack,
close to him, so slowly,
leans his head down
quietly,
and raises his eyes and goes, so you're not married to her anymore then?
Literally, I was like watching this like, oh, they're about to make out.
They're
about to make out sloppy style. They're going to kiss. That's going to
be like a kiss and then see you in another life and then he still runs away. Can you imagine?
Oh, I would have died. I would have expired on the spot. It's the perfect moment for a kiss between Jack and Desmond because
first gay kiss.
Not only is it like, you're not married to her anymore then, is an incredibly sort of like, it could be interpreted as a very flirty line, but it's also like, the world's about to end. Do you know what I mean?
The world's going to end, anything can happen.
In 15 minutes, the world's going to end, this is his last chance, you know. How many times in TV shows, these two characters have this like sexual tension, then it's like, the world's going to end, and then that's when they finally kiss.
About to die, let's kiss.
Yeah. It was the perfect moment for a Jack and Desmond kiss. ABC, you are cowards!
They should have kissed. They should
have kissed! I'm going to die mad about this.
But in a sense, it's like Jack, you know, Jack is too repressed. He's too early on in his sexuality journey to accept that in that moment he wants to kiss Desmond. Yeah. You know? I think it's like, he wanted to, but he couldn't.
But also he's like, kind of, I feel like from Jack's perspective, he's low-key like, now is the time you're shooting your shot now.
Come on, we're gonna die. We've got bigger things to worry about. And it's like, Desmond picks up his bag again and he runs away. And he says to him again, see you in another life. And this is like, genuinely, it's like we're gonna die. It's not just like a fun phrase he says, which obviously it was just a thing he said to Jack.
But it is something that ended up having weight because he did see Jack in another life
on the island. But now it's like, Desmond fully believes they're all about to die.
Yeah.
So he's like, you know, catch you in the next one.
Basically, yes. But because of what happened, we know that the computer gets fixed. We know that Desmond said see you in another life, and then he came back and they found each other on the island. Does this mean Desmond will be coming back?
Does it? We don't know.
We don't know, but we are like, please.
Desmond also, but it's like, does Desmond believe that it was all fake?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know the computer got fixed.
You were like, at least he'll finally know. He doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Because the world hasn't ended, but he's like...
Because also it's like, if
what if they did manage to fix the computer?
If the world did end, then he would know it was real. But now the world hasn't ended. He's going to be like, well, either it wasn't real or they fixed the computer.
Oh, he still has the uncertainty.
So he
No! Desmond!
He runs off.
Oh,
He leaves Jack on the hill, standing there. When Jack returns to the hatch, he's like composed. He's calm. He's something happened to Jack in that moment. He's like clearly stood there on that hill and gone, oh my god,
I'm gay.
gay.
Imagine Jack's just like so chill for the rest of the show because he's finally figured out he's gay.
Kate's like, hey, what happened out there? And he's like, I think I'm gay. Can you imagine? And then Kate would just go, okay.
Me too.
I think I might be too. Okay. Cool.
Oh yes, that's what we need to happen. Fuck their flirty bullshit. They were just trying to cover it up. They were like, yeah.
It was a lavender marriage.
It was a lavender marriage.
So anyway, so John, Saeed fixes the computer.
Yes.
John recites the code. Hurley's freaking out.
Hurley's like,
because it's the numbers.
But Hurley, bless him, he's also, Jorge Garcia is also acting in this scene, because it's like, Hurley's like, what the hell is this? And then suddenly the numbers are here, and he's like, no. And
I love him when he says 32, and he goes, no, mind, do what you want.
Go ahead. No, I actually really don't like that, because like, surely Hurley knows that 42 is the right number.
I know, but he thinks that if they put the numbers in, something bad's gonna
happen, I guess. So he's like,
don't use the numbers.
He's like, oh, if it's 32, maybe he thinks 32 is right. And then he's like, oh, it's fine then, it's not going to be bad, because it's not the numbers.
And
but
then...
it can't be like 5 out of 6 of the numbers and it's all going to be fine. Hurley, use that brain, Hurley.
And we have Jack rocking up after his gay realization.
Yeah, it's 42. 42, which is famously the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
And then we have John. You have to do it, Jack.
Oh my god, John. John!
Because I think it's like Jack returns with this state of calm and John is like, something's happened. I'm also gay.
Wait, is there anyone in this hatch who's not gay? And they just look around at each other.
Is there anyone in this hatch who likes women? Kate raises her hand. And also John, like I was saying, he maybe is like, well, if Jack and Desmond know each other, maybe this is Jack's destiny, not mine. So he's then like, he has to do it. John, you have to do it, Jack.
I do think John is being a bit of a
He's also fucking
nightmare.
with him a little bit. It's also a good example of fucking with a Jack. You know, he's like, I'm gonna make him do it.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, it's just like, John, we need to push, right, like, it's a critical situation,
Crucially,
right, okay?
Saeed says it right.
So this argument is irrelevant. No, Saeed. And then Jack goes, nothing's gonna happen. Jack. I'm just like, Jack, John, for fuck's sake.
They're both being nice.
The girls are fighting.
But then, he does it.
This scene is good, though. It is good the way that John goes, you have to do it, Jack. Because he is right in that, like, when it comes down to it, when it comes down to the wire, when push comes to shove, Jack will press the button. Because it's like, he doesn't have enough conviction that it is not real.
He can't convince himself.
I swear there's something called, like, Occam's razor or something, which is this, where it's like...
Is that what Occam's razor is?
I feel like it is. That might be completely wrong, but it's like the idea that... It's essentially about God, but like, you know, if God is real and you don't believe in him, then that's bad. If God isn't real and you do believe in him, then
that's fine.
That's fine, so it's better to just believe in him. Obviously, that's not really belief, is it? That's not faith. No. That's
but it is like
a logical argument kind of thing.
It's very much that, you know, what if? What if? And Jack will never be able to hold his resolve that long. Because also it's like it's the way... Because also he's had this experience of like, all roads lead here. Desmond has found him again in another life. So it's like, maybe it is real. And he's obviously doubting himself. And he's just saying it's not real because he wants to believe that. More so than he really does believe it, I think. And then John says to him, you've got to take a leap of faith.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Amazing,
it is
perfect.
lovely. It is lovely. And we find out as well that if you let it get to 1 minute,
it starts
beeping louder and more intensely. It's so tense. It's so, that beeping is so cool because it really underscores a lot of the dialogue. Like, we've already had it in the most amazing montage in TV ever. We've already had it when Desmond's holding John at gunpoint saying, you got to put in exactly what I say. And then it comes back here and it's like, it's just so delicious. It just makes everything way more tense just hearing that underneath everything.
Because also they're all having to yell over it, which means they're all yelling at each other. And right as it gets to like 1 second, Jack presses it.
Oh, he presses it at 1 second. Of course he does!
And it freezes for a second and then goes back to 108. Moment of silence.
I'll take the first shift.
John! Because the thing is it's like that moment when they're watching the orientation film and it says you and your partner will push the button and then there's like a shot of Jack and John and it's like, they're the two guys, you know, they're the man of science and the man of faith. They're the two people together.
Yeah, but it is silly. It's silly because it's like, John's like, it's a 2-man job at least. Saeed's right there, he's about to push the button. Kate definitely would have pushed it. Hurley wouldn't have, but...
Yeah, but it's like, but Jack
has to be Jack. Okay, guys, so we just had to have a little piss break because we've been yapping for too long. And in said piss break, I just had a quick Google. It is not Occam's razor.
Okay.
Occam's razor is something entirely different. However, I did Google, like, idea that the best thing is to believe in God, whatever. It came up. What I was thinking of is actually called Pascal's wager.
Okay.
So there you
Blaise
go.
Pascal?
Yes. Who is that? How do you know who that is?
I don't know, actually. He's a historical figure.
Blaise Pascal? Where did that come from?
The name's just in my head.
I was just on his Wikipedia page. Blaise Pascal.
Was he a philosopher?
Yeah.
I guess probably just from
Sick name.
being a man of the world.
Blaise Pascal.
That's why it's stuck. I bet it's been told to me like once and then I've remembered it. Maybe I feel like I know something about his wife. His wife invented computers or something.
Her name was Sonic.
Hang on.
That was a Sonic the Hedgehog deep cut. Blaze the cat.
Blaze.
Remember her.
His wife is not... I'm thinking of someone else. There's someone... The woman who, like, invented the first computer was also married to, like, a famous philosopher or something.
Oh, okay.
So I thought maybe that was her, but it's not.
No.
His wife was irrelevant.
Okay. Did she have a fun name?
Etienne.
Etienne. That's quite good.
Pascal.
Etienne Pascal. That's quite a good name.
Pretty nice.
Pretty
nice. So...
As if that wasn't enough, guys, to happen in one episode.
Let's check in with the raft crew.
Let's check in, shall we? Let's check in.
So, they don't even run away.
Where are they gonna go, bro?
Away.
That you know that motherfucker's gonna catch up to them with that stick.
You do know, but also you try and run. I guess because it's the others, Michael at least will be like, I'm gonna fight them to get my son back.
Yeah.
So he would stay.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd be running. So, okay.
But also, think about it. So, Michael wants to stay to find Walt. Sawyer has a gunshot wound, and Jin is physically tied up.
Jin can't stand up, to be fair to him. He probably can't get up.
So, how are they going to run away?
Sawyer could run away.
He's got a gunshot wound, he's bleeding out!
In his shoulder.
he's collapsing from blood loss.
If he could swim to that boat, I think he could run away.
To be fair, yes. Sawyer is insanely robust, it seems.
Yes,
he's able to lose so much
especially in this
blood
episode.
and just keep going.
So, they get knocked out, they get put in nets and dragged.
They get put in next and dragged through the jungle into a pit.
Into a pit with, like, that's, like, tied down with, like, a... It's almost sophisticated technology.
Yeah.
Of, like, having, like, a hinged lid that then gets tied down.
The others, so we get a little snippet of the others, don't we? we get this one guy who seems to be like the leader.
Yeah, with a big stick.
Yeah. Who's just beating the shit out of them. He's super strong. We know Ethan was super strong, so that checks out. And yes, they like... Yeah, they have this like sort of... It seems like they're living off the land, but in a sophisticated way. Is that what you're kind of going for?
Yeah.
Yeah, that checks out, I think. And it also checks out with when they captured Walt, they've got the homemade bomb, haven't they? So they've got a boat, but like a lot of their stuff is...
It's like rudimentary technology.
Yeah, things they've made themselves.
The vibe. Yeah. Definitely. So Jin doesn't know anything, conveniently.
Of course.
Was blindfolded.
I actually really like the way that Jin's language barrier comes back here.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
It's kind of taken a back seat. When they're on the boat, he seems to be getting by quite well. He can communicate pretty well.
Yeah. With
them. Michael, like, Jin and Michael have sort of built up a sort of communication. Michael seems to always know what Jin's talking about. Han and Chewie. Michael seems to always know what Jin's talking about, even though he obviously doesn't understand him. But now, he doesn't.
And I genuinely think this scene is actually really good. Like, the way that Sawyer's just desperately trying to get any information out of him, and Jin's just like, I don't know what you're saying. And then he kind of finally figures out what he's trying to say, and he goes like this.
Michael says, did you see Walt? And he can't, obviously he knows Walt.
He knows Walt, and he mimes that he was blindfolded. This must be, like, it's crazy for all of them, but it must be crazy for Jin. Jin doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Jin has had a week. You think about the start of Jin's week, right? Launches... gearing up the raft to launch. He doesn't understand why they're launching way sooner than they were not before. That's Monday. Tuesday,
emotional reunion with the wife.
Reunites with you, writes you a phrase book. You cry and apologise to her and tell her that you're being punished by God for being terrible to her. That's Tuesday. Raft launches Tuesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday, sailing. Rudder breaks. Nearly drown.
Yeah.
That's Wednesday. Thursday, boat. They see a boat.
Yeah.
Small boy is kidnapped. You don't know what they're saying.
No.
Boat explodes.
Yeah.
You're in the water.
Yeah. You swim to shore, question mark?
Float/swim to shore way quicker than the others do. You don't know if any of the rest of them are dead. That's Thursday. Friday, kidnapped by others, blindfolded, tied up.
That's Friday.
Escape, run away.
That's Saturday, because it's a different day when Sawyer and Michael wake up in it.
So then, escape, run away, Saturday morning. Reunited.
Immediately re-kidnapped.
Immediately kidnapped again, in a pit. Saturday. What's going to happen on Sunday?
Don't want to know. I don't want to know.
And also, this whole time, you don't know what anyone is saying. Because you easily know about 5 English words at this point, and one of them is boat.
Not helpful now. Phrase book's out the window. It's
phrase book got exploded.
Shit, oh god, the phrase book. It was only like port and starboard and stuff. It wasn't like,
I don't know.
Where is the child?
I only know boat words.
I only know boat words. Haven't got to that lesson on Duolingo yet. I'm only on the boat lesson.
So, they're all in a pit.
They're in a pit.
Jin doesn't know anything because he was blindfolded.
Yeah.
Why is Sawyer the one who climbs out? Tries to climb out. He's only got one functional arm.
I don't know why it is Sawyer. I guess, like, it kind of makes sense because the other two are able to support him properly.
Yeah, I think it's more just he's like, we have to get our boost me.
He's very much on the we need to escape train, isn't he? Seems like he really doesn't enjoy being... I mean, no one's enjoying being locked up, but he really doesn't. And also, as you say, Michael's priority is Walt, so he might be a bit more like, I'll stay, see if I can find Walt, and then go.
And Jin can't be the one who escapes because they can't talk to him.
Jin's like, girl, what?
Imagine trying to say to Jin, we'll support you, you get up there and open it.
He's just gonna be like, what am I doing up here? What am I looking at?
But then we get the incredible shot. Sawyer tries to untie the thing.
Oh.
Machete
through the bars of the cage.
This guy is so scary.
Oh my god, he's terrifying, isn't he? Where'd you get that machete from?
No shirt, machete out.
Can't lose.
Insane. And then...
Oh my god.
What I have written down, once again, last week I couldn't articulate my emotions. The last week before, and I just drew a little picture of them looking into the hatch.
Yeah.
What I've done here is I've written Ana Lucia, all caps, and then I've drawn the explosion emoji 3 times, which is just like some spikes.
Everybody, let's celebrate. Ana Lucia is alive. She is back on the island. Yeah!
So she got knocked out.
Yes.
And she woke up in the water, and she's been alone for 44 days.
The way that we've had 2 new characters introduced in the space of 3 episodes, and both of them have been alone for a significant amount of time. Parallel.
And hot.
And hot.
It's a great
season.
True.
It's welcome to season 2, people.
Welcome to season 2.
Yeah, so she survived the tail section breaking off somehow. And
how.
But she doesn't remember how. She was knocked out and then she woke up in the water and managed to swim to the island, and then she's just been alone ever since. And only yesterday did she encounter the others. They found her and they kidnapped her. Well, at least that's what she tells us.
Story.
Then we start to figure out she must be working with them because Sawyer, she sees that Sawyer has a gun. She is asking him all these questions about it, which I love.
Yeah.
The dialogue in this scene is great.
First of all, we get some great moments from this scene. So they're saying we all survived the plane crash. She obviously would have thought she was the only survivor.
Yeah.
Of this plane crash. She's learning when they say we were on a flight from LA to LA and it crashed, and then there's a moment of pause and then she goes, Flight 815?
Absolute serve.
That realisation in her face that they were on the same plane.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Huge realisation for both of them. It's the Spider-Man meme. They're like...
Yeah. You were on our plane.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And we know she's telling the truth as well, because we've seen her at the airport. Because, like, what I imagine when she ends up getting pulled out at the end, I imagine they're going, okay, she's another, she was trying to trick us. But no, we know that she was on the plane.
Her face is incredible. When Sawyer pulls out the gun and her face changes, it's amazing. When Michael says, have you seen a 10-year-old boy, my son, he was kidnapped? And she's like, no, sorry. She looks devastated. I love Michelle Rodriguez. She's such a good actor.
She's great.
She's incredible. This scene, she brings it so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, she asks Sawyer a bunch of questions about the gun. How did you get a gun on a plane? So she's doubting that they're telling the truth.
Yeah, they could be the others.
How did you get a gun on the plane?
Yeah.
She's like, and he's saying there was a marshal. She doesn't know. There was a marshal and you just took his gun. They don't say he died.
Yeah. It's like, so you just happen to have his gun. Unlikely.
And then...
But I think she's kind of thinking, well, okay, so she's working for them, so she assumes that they're also not working for them. But also, like, how would they know all about the plane if they weren't on the plane? And how would she know about the plane?
How would she know about the plane
if she wasn't on the plane?
Who's flying the plane?
If you were on the plane and I was on the plane, then who's flying the plane?
Who's the others? And then, yeah, so she takes Sawyer's gun.
Yeah. I wrote down, Ana Lucia has been here for 2 minutes and she's already punched Sawyer and stolen his gun. Cool. She's an icon. You can't deny it.
Doing
She's
what
amazing.
needs to be done.
Yeah,
and
what we've all been wanting to do.
And then she yells, coming out. So it seems like she was thrown in there just to get information out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the machete guy speaks.
Yeah.
As he's pulling Ana Lucia out. So he gives the, like, cable hatch call.
Oh!
The cable that she grabs hold of and he's pulling her out.
Yes.
Kate and John.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, what happened? Who are they?
So she's in cahoots.
Which could mean nothing. Which could mean everything.
Yeah. She's in cahoots. She's in cahoots with the others.
She's in cahoots with the others. But also, she was all, like, she had, like, a scratch on her cheek.
True. And also, who are they? Surely the others know who they are because they just went over and, like, took the son. So, and blew up the
Maybe Machete Guy is also cahooting with the others. Maybe he was... What? Maybe they're friends.
What?
Because something I noticed is Michael, I think, said to her, so you've been all on your own all this time? And she doesn't say yes or no.
Okay,
She just says,
talking around it.
she just goes, I've been trying to find food, trying to get shelter.
Well, we can't trust anything she said now, really, because, well, we know she was on the plane because we've seen the flashback, but we can't trust, because we know she's now not who she said she was, right?
Yeah.
So, we don't know, maybe she isn't by herself, maybe there are more survivors, but then it's like, why are they beating these guys up if they're not the others?
Who knows?
Do you know what I mean? But then,
Nobody
like,
knows.
I guess maybe the others might have not communicated to each other.
Maybe
They don't exactly have
there's
phones.
multiple groups of others.
Ooh, I like that.
Maybe it's like a
Separate
warring
factions.
faction situation, and it's like one of them took Walt, a baby in a sense, and the others took them.
Oh, that'd be fun. And then it's like, we can help each other out, warring factions. And they're just like, hi guys, can we go back to our camp?
Insane.
Insane.
Insane
So much lore in
Once
this
again,
episode.
let's look at this from Jin's perspective. You don't know what's
Jin, I mean, it's kind of crazy because they are like, so Jin stood there, these people are having a conversation with her, and then suddenly it's like we're all shaking hands with her. And so she's like,
okay, we like her.
We like her. And he does his bow, which I like as well, when he shakes her hand. And then suddenly it's like...
She's punching Sawyer and she's taking the gun.
Yeah. And we noticed as well when we were watching it today that his face changes before the rest of them. And it's like, Jin kind of figures out what's happening.
He notices they're like hanging back. It's like Michael at the front and then Sawyer and then Ana Lucia and then Jin. And it's like, he notices her. She like looks to the gun. And he notices, and he doesn't have time to do anything, but he reacts. And it's like, obviously 90% of communication that he's doing is reading people's body languages and their faces and everything. So he's looking at her, and he notices when she goes for the gun. And I think that's really brilliant. I don't know if that was directed, or if that was just like a great piece of acting from Daniel Day Kim, but it's very realistic, and I think it's just a really tiny detail that I really, really enjoyed.
Agree.
So, yeah, that's where we've left it.
This episode can fit so much lore in it.
They're still in a pit.
Yeah.
But the button's been fixed. The computer's been fixed. So they're going to presumably keep putting in the code. Mm-hmm. Desmond's gone.
Desmond's fucked off. We don't know where.
We've got, like,
we don't know how.
Kate, John, Jack, and Hurley and Saeed know about the patch. No one else does.
Michael, Jin, and Sawyer are in a pit, and we don't know the situation with Ana Lucia and the guy with the stick.
And the rest of them.
And we don't know where Walt is still.
We don't know where Walt is. Sawyer is dying, question mark. He's got this shoulder
The rest
wound.
of the survivors have moved back to the beach, so they're not in the caves
they've
anymore.
Kind of spread it. They've realised the threat of the others is gone.
For them, at least.
Or assumed the threat of the others is gone.
Yeah.
So they've started moving back to the beach. Things are getting back to normal. Question mark.
That's what Hurley said, and then he was immediately like, oh crap, here comes Kate.
So, shit's crazy.
What's a way to end this episode? This episode is so good. It's so
incredible. It's wild.
So much happens. Like, how is this just one episode? How is this 45 minutes of television?
They packed a lot in.
So much. Are you kidding?
I kept being like, oh my god, and then this happens this episode?
Do you remember last week when we were like, oh, I can't actually... I feel like I thought some of the scenes in Adrift happened in Orientation. Gotta imagine. They couldn't physically fit it in.
Yeah. But imagine if Adrift had just been what we've seen of Jin, Sawyer, and Michael. Imagine if they'd been kidnapped and we'd seen Ana Lucia at Adrift. Wouldn't that be something?
That would be something.
That'd be crazy.
But I like that she's introduced when we're getting all of this, because we're getting all of this Dharma lore, and we're like, okay, I'm super invested in the Dharma and Desmond and
then
Kelvin.
It's like plane crash.
And then it's like, wait, Ana Lucia's here? And the others, they're still here and they're still lingering around. What's going on with them? You know? I wonder how much they know about the Dharma Initiative.
Are they the Dharma Initiative?
They could be the Dharma Initiative.
Because what happened to them? Obviously, they're not still doing experiments on the island. Otherwise, surely would have seen them by now. But maybe they are.
Maybe they are.
Maybe they're doing experiments on kids. Maybe they're trying to take Claire's baby to do experiments on him. We don't know.
We know that...
Parapsychology Walt has psychic powers. Maybe they're taking him to experiment on him.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, they seem like they are not scientists in their appearance, right? They're all very, like, living off the land, as we say. They don't look like they would be in the hatch with the logos and the food with the logos on it and everything, right?
Yeah, but
who knows? Maybe. And also that raises the question, can we trust what Desmond told us? Because what if he's an other and he's just been lying, like a lot of them have been doing, you know?
Yeah, what if he's lying?
Ethan was lying and everything.
What we know for sure is that he, you know, was training for a race around the world and that he met Jack, but, like, everything after that could have been a lie.
This episode.
Everything's up in the air. Essentially.
The clip of Homer when he is watching the parody of Lost in The Simpsons where he goes, that flashback raised more questions than it answered. This episode raised far many more questions than it answered.
Answer some questions we didn't even have.
Yeah.
And then, via that, raise more questions.
Mm-hmm. But I really like what this episode does in its ability to combine extremely heavy lore drops and furthering of the narrative with extremely interesting character dynamics.
Yeah, and character development.
Yes. I think that's really incredible.
It's really like an example of just the general skill of Lost and the narrative construction and the writing of it. This is like a perfect example almost of the way that they've constructed the series.
I think, yeah, it's one of the best constructed and best written episodes. Aside from the flashbacks, kinda.
Yeah, the flashbacks really, really let it down.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they let it down. Like, the flashbacks are not bad necessarily. It's just they don't quite fit, or they feel a bit like surplus, you know, they feel a bit extra.
And it feels like the episode, sure, it's about John, but it's also very much about Jack, and it's also very much about, you know, Jin and Michael and Ana Lucia, and it's about Hurley and the numbers, and it's about everything, and it's like, often the flashbacks are, like, the main plot line is very crucially central to that character. So I feel like with the way that this plot is a lot more ensemble and a lot more scattered, sometimes the flashbacks just feel a little bit like, well, they're just about John, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it would have benefited from more of, like, the structure of the finales of season 1, where it's like each flashback is kind of a different character.
Yeah. I could have seen that
like, a bit of John, and then we could have seen a bit of Jack and his, like, wife or something, and then we could have seen, like, a bit of Desmond and the Dharma Initiative, and we could have seen a bit of, I don't know, Sawyer, or what happened to Jin before.
Yeah, you know? Yeah.
That we could have seen little bits of other things, and that would have maybe felt, like, more in keeping with the tone of this episode, I think.
Yeah, I agree. But I also think it's possible that the writers went, we want to do so much on-island stuff in this episode, let's not be too ambitious with the flashbacks.
Just slow it down a bit.
Yeah. Let's just kind of have this little plot line that only takes place over the space of 6 months, you know, nothing too dramatic happens, so that we can contrast it with all the dramatic stuff that's happening on the island.
And we can make a fun point about a leap of faith.
Yes. Which
was, I will admit, cool.
Yeah, it was. But as I've said, I have a bit of an issue with the flashbacks, and I feel like they don't quite fit. It's not as bad as, like, Jack getting married while Boone is dying.
No, not nearly.
Not nearly as bad as that. But it is, I feel like it's in that similar vein. How would you feel if the flashbacks of Adrift and Orientation had been swapped around? Because I feel like we get all of John talking to Desmond in the hatch.
Yeah.
So it would kind of make sense to have John's flashbacks then.
But I guess there's no real character development from John in this episode. Like, in Adrift. Like, in Orientation, it's like John's character is that he's like, now I don't know what to do. This isn't... And then he's like, now what I have to do is convince Jack to take this leap of faith with me.
I see. Yeah.
So it is more crucial to his development.
But I kind of feel like Michael flashbacks, or flashbacks from out of Michael, Jin and Sawyer, or even Ana Lucia.
Ana Lucia episode, right off the bat.
That would be hilarious. Would have fit a little better. Because I don't know, I feel like the Hatch stuff is so convoluted in what's happening on the island that to have them flashbacks of a character who's involved in that plot line feels a bit like...
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe if it was, like I said, if it was swapped, where everything that happened with the Raft people happened in Adrift, including up to Ana Lucia and the pit, and that was Michael's flashback episode, and then this picked up from... what John talks to Desmond about in the Hatch before the U, and then everything's subsequent. John's flashback to that, it would feel a little bit less, but then it's like that wouldn't keep up the pace so well.
No,
because what's great,
I'm actually glad that they didn't do that,
is that the progression is that both plot lines are progressing equally.
Yes,
but they're still out of time with each other.
Yeah,
because actually, when they're pressing the button and Desmond's running away and Jack's coming back, that's like the sunrise. So that's when I think they are about the same point now, because they were ahead. The Raft survivors were ahead last episode, but I think we're about equal now, because it's clearly morning when everyone's moving back to the beach when Kate runs in to get Saeed. Yeah, I'm trying to do the maths now. It's 108. What is it?
Oh, here we go.
Well, it was 2 lots of code entering.
Yes.
Between Desmond waking up and the end of orientation.
Yes.
Because it's 108 minutes between him waking up and doing the computer to then making John do it.
216 minutes.
So 260 minutes, which is about, 4.5? No. It's about 4 hours.
Less than.
Yeah. What did you say? 460?
216.
216. 4 hours would be 240. So nearly 4 hours. And he said it was about 3 hours till sunrise.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So I guess, it is the morning.
It's the morning.
It depends how long they were unconscious for and how far they were dragged to get into that pit, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think that it's a little bit ahead, but it's not massively, I don't think.
Oh, how exciting!
It's crazy. And what's going to happen next? We'll be back
Orientation,
next week.
People.
Orientation.
I feel like obviously...
Do you feel orientated?
No. I feel disorientated.
I think that was intentional.
Obviously, it's because it says orientation on the film, which is slay. I do like when John holds the film up and he's like giving a bit of side eye to Jack.
Yeah.
I do love that. But I feel completely disoriented. It's like, well, I'm sure that film has cleared up all of your questions.
And watching it again will do nothing. Because it will give us the same information.
Watch it again. Go back, watch this episode again, people. You need to spot all the details. You need to comprehend.
See all the little things. So thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for listening.
And we'll be back next week for episode 4.
We will indeed.
Everybody Hates Hugo, which I'm sure you can guess who that episode's about.
Yeah. The title of this episode is crazy, because it's like, what do you mean? Like, Hurley's one of our favourite characters, and it's like, so now suddenly we're getting an episode randomly out of nowhere called Everybody Hates Hugo?
What happened?
What? No! You're talking bit the numbers.
Hopefully some numbersy stuff is going to be happening.
Indeed.
So we will see you for that.
We
In
will.
the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Tumblr,
Spotify.
That's the big one.
Instagram.
In the description of this episode is all of our usernames.
Yep.
Give us a follow. We've got all sorts of stuff going on.
You don't need a description for mine, because mine are nice and simple. Symbol?
Nice
and simple. A symbol, you just find a symbol, bang it, and it's like a bat signal. It'll just like echolocate me.
And then Ariel will just appear in your room at 3 a.m. and start performing stand-up comedy.
Yeah. Be like, find me in Manchester on these dates. I appear like Mike Wazowski. Great to be here in your room. Of course, I was the ball. Best 3 years of my life. That scene. That's it. You can get a little bit of outside of Lost Ariel lore, that's a scene that is so important to me from another film. I love Monsters Inc. so much, and I love that scene. It's so funny.
It's a great scene. And you know what? I watched Monsters University a few days ago. It holds
Oh, did you?
I randomly, because I got, I saw a post that said, like, Monsters University gave me an unrealistic expectation for what college is going to be. It was like, they've never had to do two-factor authentication. And I was like, dude, I was crazy obsessed with that film when it first came out.
You were. You were really obsessed with that.
And I was like, I'm going to watch it again. And you know what? It's still really good. And it still holds up as being an amazing... It's like the best sequel movie.
Because it's not a sequel, it's a prequel. And I think they're so smart for doing that. It reveals
so much lore, and it's brilliant.
Yeah. No, I think they really... It's one of the only times where they've gone, hey, let's, reanimate the corpse of this franchise from 20 years ago. And it's actually been good.
Yeah. And they didn't leave too much in between, I don't think.
Well,
it's about 10 years, I think.
That's quite a long time.
It's quite a lot, to be fair.
Especially when your target audience are kids.
Yeah. But it's so good. And also, I love that it's not like Monsters Inc. 2. It's like Monsters Incorporated, Monsters University. Like, it follows the thing. But it's not just like Monsters Inc. 2.
Yeah. And they don't try and replicate Monsters Inc. I think is the crucial thing.
It's completely different.
Which is why it's good.
And there's so much lore set up for what happens in Monsters Inc., which is really fun.
Absolutely. Anyway, that's great. I love Monsters Inc. It's my favourite film.
Instagram and
yes,
TikTok
please do. And YouTube at Ariel Hebditch. And thank you for listening, and we'll be here next week.